Hey everybody, did you know it's March and it's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month? We just learned this thanks to these fantastic guests that we had on from Colorectal Alliance.
Marielle McLeod is a certified bilingual patient and family support navigator, buddy coordinator who works at the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. And along with their partner, Steven, we had a great conversation. They're doing, as they say, God's work. We're super excited because this month, in addition to Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, it's Dress in Blue Day on March 5th.
So send us your selfies of you dressed in blue. Dave and I will be posting our selfie, and it's all about colorectal cancer awareness. Do you need to talk to somebody? The Colorectal Alliance is the best people to talk to. They have message boards, a pledge that Dave signed, and he's going in for his colonoscopy soon, and more. And Marielle also is a survivor colorectal cancer, and she told us about her journey and how she didn't even know about the Alliance until after, which she said it would have been a huge difference for her.
Yeah, and now she works for them, so it's full circle for her. You know, so if you're wondering what specifically National Colorectal Awareness Month is, it's an observance dedicated to encouraging patients, survivors, caregivers to share their stories, advocate for cancer, prevention, and just to basically inform people about early detection, which now is 45 years of age. So if you're around that age, man, go get that done. Take a look in the back door.
I got 2 more years until I get to sign up.
Yeah, I'm getting mine done.
We are also, as the Hey Poopy podcast, we're working on that as being in much earlier age. And we want to help people realizing that screening should be at an earlier age. We're going to be doing some fun stuff this month around that. Dr. Fong has also educated us on that stuff, and we have her back later in the month. Yeah,
it's a whole celebration, if you will. And if you have any questions or comments, give us a shout out at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com.
If you have anything you want to talk to us about, you can call us at 203-998-5579. Also, have you subscribed? Have you told your friends about the podcast?
Have you rated the podcast?
Yes.
People always forget about rating. That's a big deal. It helps us.
Leave us a comment.
It might end up on the show.
Hate us. I love some hate mail.
I'm not really big on hate mail, but we'll let Ellen deal with that.
I'll deal with that. I love it because it struck a nerve.
I just don't read it. I'm like, oh. But either way, good or bad, let us know. Don't be indifferent.
Yeah. Here's on to this amazing episode that Dave and I totally learned. I mean, there's nonstop learning on this show. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. So check it out.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. And we have an action-packed show for you tonight.
It's dump day, and this is the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 109, but it'll always be number 2 to us, our favorite number.
Yes.
And we don't just have one, but we have two special guests.
Dos.
Yeah, there's 2 of us and there's 2 of them to make up the perfect 4. Woo!
Yes. It's a combo.
It is. And we have both Steven, your last name is Bushong. I should have asked you before we started.
It's Bushong.
Bushong. And Marielle McLeod from the Colorectal Alliance.
Yes, thanks for being on the show, guys.
So happy to be here.
Excellent. We're really excited that you're here, and thank you for taking your time out to be on our show.
Absolutely.
We just learned that when this episode comes out on March 3rd, we are also going to be celebrating Colorectal Awareness Month.
Yes.
March.
That's right. It runs all March, National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And an important day within that month is March 5th. That's a Friday.
Ooh.
Everyone everyone on March 5th should be wearing blue because that is Dress in Blue Day.
Okay.
Friday, March 5th.
Blue.
Cool.
Okay. Good to
And
know.
why blue?
That is the color of colorectal cancer awareness.
Ah, so
Nice.
you guys have 2 days to get your outfits together.
That's
If you're
right.
That's right.
listening when this episode
Yeah,
dumps.
This episode
Yeah.
comes out. So blue. I love blue. It's like my favorite color.
Yeah.
So this works out
It's a great
perfectly.
color.
It's a great
Great
color.
color.
Solid.
Dave, you and I should both wear blue that day, and we'll be probably still socially distant, but we could take selfies and post.
You have to get a new pandemic outfit on. I mean, I just literally wear the
Right?
same thing every day, so it'll be a nice change.
Yes, totally.
Hashtag Dress in Blue Day, guys. We'll retweet you.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, like we always start the show, we like to know, since you guys are a very special guest, we'd love to know how your poops have been.
How have you been
Hey.
pooping?
Marielle, you can take that one first.
I'm like the pooping queen in my house. They have been very inconsistent things. So I'm a colorectal cancer survivor. So ever since I had my surgery about 3 years ago, my poops have never been the same. So they surprise me on a daily basis. So
Oh,
Well, congratulations for being a survivor. But on the Bristol stool chart, where are you at today?
I have no idea. I haven't gone
Are
to
you
the
harder, softer?
I'm gonna say harder.
okay.
Oh, probably
That's
like a
high.
2 or 3.
Yeah, right about there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steven, what about you? Where do you fall?
My stuff is pretty inconsistent as well. I would say that I am usually on the softer end. I think that has something to do with all of the pizza that I can't help myself but consume.
Pizza's great.
But it's kind of worrisome actually. So I actually took a one of these fit colon cancer screening tests,
Oh,
so that I could talk about it on your show.
Oh,
awesome.
fantastic.
We need to know more about that.
Yes.
Dave, do you want to check in?
I pooped right before the show. So like
Ooh.
5 minutes before well, actually when I started the Zoom call, I ran into the bathroom. And then, it was like a 4. There has to be another number because I feel like I had a 4, but it was like in segments. It didn't come out as one long one, but
4.
I don't know. I was going to call it that. So 4, 4.5
You can have short little 4s.
On
It
the-
doesn't have to be massive 4s.
on the scale. But it was very satisfying. I was like, maybe I can hold it in. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be able to hold this thing for this entire interview.
Pooping is great.
Yeah,
Pooping is good.
it is. I felt relieved. I
out.
felt like, I'm ready to start the show, which we've done. Mission accomplished.
For my check-in, I have not been pooping very well for a couple of weeks now. I think it's like stress and just because but I also started like calorie counting for the new year so I could lose a little pounds because I was literally fat shamed by my gynecologist right before the new year. So I was like, okay, I'll take care of that because she weighed me and she's like, you gained your COVID weight. I was like, thank you. So I have not been pooping very well. And then yesterday I made this smoothie that I love making, but I haven't made in a while, but usually it like really loosens up the bowels. And the smoothie has like blueberries, banana, orange juice, cilantro in it. And today when I was on the phone with my lovely co-host and our executive producer during our weekly meeting, of course, I pinched off a little poo. I had muted it and then unmuted it to talk and then muted it again to flush. And then like an hour after that, Dave, I swear to God, I'm back. I made the most incredible 4 that I almost took a picture of because I was like, holy shit. Like this is the poop I'll
back.
be making every day. It was so gorgeous. It was like started off thick and strong and just kept around and like tapered off. And I was like, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Back
And
in the
maybe
saddle.
it's like we are recording this the day after inauguration and then having Colorectal Alliance here. It was like my asshole was just like, we're done being stressed out. Let's talk about colon health and be clean and healthy.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm glad you're back in the saddle again.
I feel like it's been forever since
Yeah.
I've had my perfect 4.
Nice. And I couldn't think of a better day for it to happen on.
Yeah.
So
And now that we've all checked in, which one of you want to tell us more about Colorectal Alliance and to introduce it to the audience?
I'll take the lead on that one, Stephen.
There you go.
excellent.
He's gonna be like, here you go. This is why I had you come on.
Yeah, let us know for the people.
That's like so far greatest conversation I've ever been involved in. Poop literally from 9 o'clock in the morning until I go to sleep at night, and comical, like relieving conversation, all pun intended, that I've ever been a part of, and we're like a hot minute in.
Excellent.
So the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, we're a national nonprofit organization where we help patients and caregivers and healthcare workers and researchers all find a place where they belong, where they can come to for resources, both peer-to-peer support and financial. We have various platforms that we fund throughout the year. We have a financial assistance program where patients and caregivers can apply for financial assistance while they're in treatment. We have a built from scratch resource guide with a plethora of different types of needs that our patients and caregivers and healthcare professionals can reach and tap into for resources within their community as well as on a national level. We have a peer-to-peer support program. We have a private Facebook group where patients, caregivers, and healthcare workers and family members can go on with 11,000 of your closest friends.
That's amazing.
Blue Hope Nation is absolutely wonderful. I'm one of the admins on it, as well as our navigators. We have certified patient and family support navigators that answer our helpline 5 days a week from 9 to 5 to answer any questions that patients, just regular people that are having pooping problems and want to know if it's okay or if it's not normal, can reach out to for support and ask questions. We offer research grant funding to help us find a cure for colorectal cancer. We provide walks throughout the country to raise awareness. We have a screening program that we provide patients with colonoscopies. Basically, I'm just about to lose the gamut. We offer things for, and we offer bilingual services to limited English speaking patients. So we pretty much do a little bit of everything.
No, it's amazing. It's expansive. I like that. Cover all the bases. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our mission is to end colorectal cancer in our lifetime.
Yes.
And not to put too fine of a point on it, but our programs reach across the efforts to screen, care, and cure. I just wanted to share our helpline phone number, if that's okay.
Please, yes.
Marielle talked a little bit about it in case anybody out there is having any kind of symptoms, or if they're worried or have a family history of this disease and want to talk to somebody. They can reach out to folks like Marielle by calling 877-422-2030. And that helpline is free and staffed Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern.
Amazing.
So really awesome resource for people.
That's great. And how did you guys, I mean, I know Marielle, you said you were earlier, you were saying that you're a survivor. Like before that, were you involved with the Colorectal Alliance, or did you come to it like sort of post surgery?
It was post surgery and post treatment. It was complete fluke how I ran into it. When, and it's one of my favorite stories to tell. I worked in healthcare when I was diagnosed. I had no clue what the Colorectal Cancer Alliance was. They're like my cancer center had no clue what it was, and we're the largest nonprofit colorectal cancer organization in the country. Had no clue. Right after I finished treatment, I found Blue Hope Nation, and I literally cried for 3 days because I could have benefited so much from that support group.
Yeah.
When I was going through treatment, I had nobody that had gone through it. In my community, I had no friends that had gone through it. So it was very, very lonely and very scary for both myself and my family. So it's literally, I lost my job during treatment, and I took a couple months off after I was done to kind of get myself back to a little bit normal, whatever that was. And I was closing down the Surge browser one day, and a bilingual navigator position for the Colorectal Cancer Alliance literally was popping up on my, I was shutting it down. And I applied for it right then and there. I wrote a letter to my boss, my now boss, begging her to give me this job, and we like interacted for about 4 days, and then she finally put me on an interview, and a month later I was hired.
Wow. That's incredible.
Amazing.
That is incredible.
So, I mean, and I've been here for 3 years. I mean, it's the most incredible thing I could have ever imagined doing.
That's incredible. Congratulations, by the way, and survival and getting an awesome job like that.
Yeah,
I know.
completely.
I love it.
We found you through my colorectal surgeon, Dr. Fong, here in New York City. She told us about 2 places that she really, really liked because I said to Dave, especially, I felt like that we needed, as the podcast, a platform to help people. And so I was like, Dr. Fong will probably know like the right people to talk to. But I also like, it really sparked it. I thought about it for a while, but it really sparked to me after the star of the Black Panthers died recently, 6 months ago. And Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
And I said to Dave, I was like, this should be our platform. Our platform should be like earlier screenings. It should be like, we should get more involved. And so it's all just snowballed to us meeting you all.
It's kismet.
Well, we're happy you have.
Thank you.
And-
So excited to be here.
Yeah.
And at the very end of 2020, we had our a night of 100 buttholes party. It was a live party with acts and everything. And we decided to give part of our proceeds, a part of our profits to you all. So we donated that after we got all our
Thank
ticket
you.
sales. So yes,
Yeah, it's at least a big deal.
we don't just talk about you and have you as a link posted on our website, but we actually did give you money from the first time we profited off of anything.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Amazing.
So we are trying to be a part, not just talk about it.
Yeah, right? Community.
I love
but
it.
We appreciate the donations, but talking about it is extremely, extremely important. So,
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So, Stephen, how did you get involved with the Alliance?
well, I don't have a connection to the disease. I had a former colleague who worked here at the Alliance.
Oh, okay.
And they were hiring a communications position, and that's my jam.
Nice.
So I applied. But I gotta say, before coming here, I didn't know the first thing about cancer, about colorectal cancer, even. But since then, I'm so involved in this community. It's really become super important to me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives this way.
That's amazing.
A little over a year ago, we had our first guest on, Caroline, who had as she calls it, ass cancer, but it was just rectal cancer.
Yeah, her words.
And I didn't even, yeah, she calls it ass cancer. But we asked her a bunch of questions, but it was the first time I even realized that cancer I knew about colon cancer, but I didn't even know that it could just be in the rectum. So being educated about all this stuff is so important on so many levels.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people just in general, like, lack a general knowledge of that stuff, but especially when it comes to, like, I mean, I think it's just people just don't want to talk about anything, especially when it comes to anything ass related or butt related,
Yeah, and I think that's where the biggest stigma comes to in regards to screening and talking about your symptoms and not being scared to like actually open up and talk to somebody about it. Because yeah, like even for me in the beginning, like poop is just, you don't talk about it like culturally.
Yeah.
Especially like in minority cultures, like I'm Hispanic, so it's like in my family we talk a lot about a lot of things, but that was just like, oh, we don't do all that. I think just literally poop just needs to become part of a everyday discussion, kind of like what we're doing today. And I think it just would end up saving so many lives. Just
yeah. I mean, everybody does it. I mean, I get it. It's like, no one was talking about it, but I mean, it's not like, there's like no one out there in the world that like doesn't take a shit, for lack of a better term. I mean, that would be insane. They would be studied, I guess, by doctors in a lab.
Well, I mean, poop is gross because it can have disease. You can like spread disease like salmonella from poop. You don't want to put poop in your mouth. Yes, poop smells. It's terrible. As humans, we should be grossed out by it. But that's why we have this podcast. We have the Bristol stool chart. We can talk about it. You don't have to show pictures of it like you show your food pictures on Instagram.
Oh my God.
But like,
yeah.
That's why I didn't take a picture.
Yeah, no.
Dave, even though it was goddamn perfect. But that's why we started this podcast originally to just laugh at our shitting our pants stories, and then we realized how much it snowballed into so much more than just that. That's why we say laughing and learning everything but. So
Yeah.
it's important.
For sure.
Do you guys want to tell us any other like stories about or things that people I mean, you did the rundown of what Colorectal Alliance does, but anything like what is something that you tell people about warning signs of colorectal cancer?
Be an advocate for yourself, especially the younger patients. Like, don't settle with just the opinion of one doctor. If you need to go, if you know in your gut that something, all pun intended, that something is not right, go to somebody else that believe you, and you just keep on going and going until somebody listens to you. That's one of the common themes that we hear a lot about, is that they get brushed off by like 2, 3, 4 doctors because they're too young and their symptoms don't really matter. And they end up getting full-blown colorectal diagnosis. So be an advocate for yourself. You're not going to accept like a crappy order from the McDonald's drive-through. So why would you do that with your health either? So
completely.
I mean,
And I always found it to be a fascinating phenomenon. Like people, the stuff we do when it comes to our own healthcare, we're kind of like, meh. And like for everything else, it's like, like you'll be there for like, if it's a job interview, if it's like anything else, like any kind of specialized thing in your life, you have no problem like talking about. But when it comes to like your own health, sometimes I feel like some people kind of are like,
yeah,
we'll figure it out some way.
your butt is not normal.
Yeah.
In any capacity. That's like, and I am at fault for that too. I went like months with rectal bleeding and I thought it was stress or just a hemorrhoid or something like that. If it goes anything longer than like at least 1 month, it's not normal.
And can I ask how old you were when you got diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at 36.
Yeah, that's too young.
Yeah, that's really young.
Wow.
You're never too young, though.
No, of course.
We have an entire program called that.
Oh, really?
That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's for those under 50, but the crazy and sad thing is when I started, I got a little Hispanic girl from New York. She was 11 that died of stage 4 colon cancer. And we have 13-year-olds. We have 15 and 16-year-olds. We just lost an 18-year-old.
Oh my God.
Sadly, like we're getting younger and younger, and it's very scary and very sad.
And does science know why?
No, that's the thing. It's like we're working so hard, and we love that we get to fund research grants for potential cures for this disease. That I can't wait for the day we finally figure it out, because it's going to be epic.
Yeah,
incredible.
And have you noticed the rates for younger people been going up, or is it just sort of like, wow, that's awful. Yeah.
That is awful.
Young onset CRC is awful. But I also don't want to lose sight of the fact that in older people,
yes,
people who are 50 years old and older, still, maybe how many is it, Marielle? A third of those people are not getting screened, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And lately, I've gotten a lot of calls from the 50 and over age demographic, because some of them was like, oh, well, I was 52. I really nothing was wrong. I was very healthy. I pushed off my scope for a couple of years, and now they're getting a diagnosis of colorectal cancer. And some of them have had no symptoms. They were just 2 years late for their colonoscopy.
Oh my God.
It's like hit or miss truly, but nobody and this sounds so, what's the word? I can't think right now. Sorry, keep my brain. Because it doesn't hold any bias. You can be black, purple, orange, 5, 10, 12, 55, 97, and still get colorectal cancer out of the blue for no reason. And the crazy thing is, majority of our patients don't have a family history that have been getting diagnosed as of lately.
Wow.
I mean, I personally think, because I went to the same gynecologist who fat shamed me a couple weeks ago. I was telling her, it was like, I think a lot of it has to do with diet, but also like we go as women to the gynecologist for our vulvas and vaginas. Like, why aren't we going to a gynecologist or like proctologist, for our butthole health. And a lot of it, and she was like, well, a lot of it also has to do with HPV. And I was like, yeah, that's why the HPV vaccine is so important. But I don't think it's just that. I think it's also diet. I think it's also the Teflon that we've been forced down our throats for like 40, 50 years that's stuck at us and causing cancer. Like it could be environmental stress. Like there's so many factors in it. But to hear that these like children, literal children are getting it, like really opens up that more screening needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some doctors think that the microbiome, which are all the little tiny bacteria, billions and billions of them in your intestines and your colon, might actually be different in younger people than it is in older people. And we're funding studies right now, today, to kind of compare those things and see if we can find any answers to help prevent this disease.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are doing all the research for that stuff because it is important. I mean, I didn't realize the swath of like just the age difference, like a gap. That's just like insane. I'm usually thinking it's like my father had colon cancer and he got diagnosed like, I think 3 or 4 years ago. And I mean, he never goes to the doctor. I mean, not that like that's an excuse. I mean, but he's fine now, but it is something that like, I mean, I have to get tested soon. So at some point, like, I mean, I've been tested before, but I have to go back. But it's scary.
Well, I heard the testing now, they just approved it as 45 instead of 50. But then also a doctor said, well, it's kind of been approved, but it hasn't gone through the insurance companies yet. Can you both correct me on that fact?
I'll go. So the American Cancer Society back in 2018 made a recommendation that colorectal cancer screening begin at age 45 for average risk individuals. Those would not be people like you who have an immediate relative with this disease. It's for average risk people, and this decision was made based on some of the data they had seen of increasing rates of young onset colorectal cancer. And the whole, CRC community rejoiced when we got this news back in 2018. But the fact of the matter is insurance companies, those who are going to pay for your $2,000-$3,000 colonoscopy, if you're having symptoms, don't follow the American Cancer Society recommendations. They follow what's called the United States Preventive Services Task Force recommendations. And people like us have been lobbying them for years, trying to get them to pay attention to this new data. And finally, late last year, they announced that they're going to make a recommendation to begin screening for average risk individuals at age 45. The recommendation is not final yet. We expect that to happen probably in the first half of this year. And when it does, insurance companies will have to take on those guidelines. And there may still be some time between when the guidelines become final and when the insurance companies finally pay for it. But yes, we're moving in the right direction. It was an incredible win to see that late last year.
And then I also heard about the polyps problem with insurance companies. How when you're getting a colonoscopy, the insurance company will pay for it, but the minute they find a polyps, then all of a sudden the receipt gets turned on, and it's like, and that supposedly also has been something that they're trying to change.
This is the most ridiculous thing. It's called the colonoscopy loophole. Okay, and some people in government have been trying to close it for years. Now, I have some good news for everybody. You might remember that COVID relief package that went through not too long ago. Mm-hmm. That included Thomas Paine Jr.'s bill. He's a congressman from, where's he from? New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, something on the east half of the United States. I should know.
On the East Coast. I've heard his name before.
Some pretty basic information right there. He's been working at this, and he finally got that legislation passed in the COVID relief bill. So the colonoscopy loophole is closing finally.
That's amazing.
The problem there is, just as you were saying, If you go in for a screening colonoscopy, you think everything's perfect, insurance is covering it, everything's good. The second they find a polyp, which is, an abnormal tissue growth that over time develops into cancer, it turns into a diagnostic procedure, and that's money.
Yeah.
Right? So just totally a different thing. So that's closing success there. Marielle, did I get that right?
You did. And like to make it even crazier, so with me, I need a colonoscopy every year. I have to fork it. I have to pay for it completely out of pocket
What?
Wait, why?
because it is diagnostic. I mean, preventative now, right?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You shouldn't have to pay
Yeah,
for
it's just
that.
like,
I do because
You have-
I am under the guideline of the age necessary for colorectal screening.
jeez. I don't get these people that don't think that the whole healthcare industry needs to be completely rehauled. Like that, just think it's fine. I mean, you should not be paying for that out of pocket. That's like
But
ridiculous.
this is what is so crazy. So I turned 40 on March 4th. I have to get a mammogram when I turn 40. Guess what? My mammogram for my potential possible breast cancer is covered at 100% by my insurance. But a colonoscopy for my butt, it's not.
Yeah, they should be in the same category, period.
Yeah, it's like your butt. It's the same body. Like I don't get like that. I just never understand the whole idea behind some of these like sort of random
Yeah.
things people pay for,
You know,
or health insurance company pay
Some
for.
people out there are making an argument that the screening age should be lowered even further. That may or may not be. One of the things that our team is focused on is this idea that there are high-risk individuals and there are average-risk individuals. For those who are at average risk, an early colonoscopy could do them more harm than good. Okay, but for those high-risk people like Marielle, she should be getting screened, and that should be covered. So we need
Completely.
to be focusing on those high-risk people, making sure that they're getting the treatment that they deserve. So that's one of the fights we're looking at right now.
Wait,
Yeah.
so why is getting for an average risk person, say somebody like me, why is it more harm than good for me to get a colonoscopy?
Marielle, okay, so this is really complicated, and I don't want to pretend I'm a policy expert on all of this stuff or a health expert. I am not.
Okay.
I'm simply restating what I've heard and read other places. That coverage of the colonoscopy is sort of a weighted decision between, cost, risk, and net benefit, life years gained. And there's a lot of different calculations that people can make. But when your age is reduced, when the potential patient's age is lowered to, say, 30 years old, where there isn't a huge number of people that are actually getting colorectal cancer. If you were to screen a huge number of people, there is a certain percentage of those screenings that will have complications.
Wow.
Something like a torn tissue, in your colon. What I don't want to do is have people then think, oh, colonoscopy is scary. I could get hurt while it's going on. No, it's extremely safe. Piercing your nose, okay, is also risky in the same way. You could get an infection and your nose will fall off, right? Every medical procedure has some element of risk. And you just got to look at when you multiply it by tens and hundreds of thousands of times, where do you end up in that risk versus benefit equation? And I think that's why we're not seeing screening ages starting at 30.
Gotcha.
Marielle, do you have more?
No, you're like beating me to the punch, Steven.
Steven's like nailing it. I love it.
I'm not going to lie. I talked to both Trudy, who is our senior director of screening, and Dr. Laura Porter, who's been
Love
involved
her.
with us for a long, long time, about this yesterday, just to make
Yeah.
sure that I wasn't lying to any of your awesome listeners.
We appreciate
Don't
that.
lie to us.
I would
Dr.
never.
Laura- And
Well,
Dr. Laura, our medical director, she's also a long-term stage 4 survivor. So
Oh, wow.
her words and expertise holds its weight for sure.
Excellent.
So if Colorectal Alliance could pick an age of screening, what would be the age?
Oh, I would say 30.
Marielle would say 30. So me as the communications guy, right? I'm not really an annoying PR person. So Marielle would say 30 personally. But honestly, I would have to get our CEO on the phone to ask,
Right.
what is the position of the Colorectal Cancer Alliance?
Gotcha.
I can't.
That's
say
fair
that.
enough. Fair enough. I think, and we can
But
also.
like I said before, it's extremely complicated, and there's a lot of entities, and it's all about saving lives in the first place.
Yeah.
And that just comes back to the idea of who is high risk, what are they getting, who is average risk, and what are they getting, and is that the best we can do?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to have the CEO back on then to find out that number. So
I'm sure
be part
Michael
2.
would love to be on the Poopy podcast.
Yes.
We'll get Michael on here.
Excellent. That'll be our part 2.
Yeah.
Michael, if you listen to this, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Excuse me.
And Steven, you were just showing us a test that you took
I was
before.
just gonna say
What
that.
is this test?
So this is called a FIT test.
Uh-huh.
Okay. FIT is an acronym that stands for fecal immunochemical test.
Oh.
And it's one of the types of tests that you can get to see if maybe you have colorectal cancer. Okay. This particular test, this FIT test, looks for blood in your stool that maybe you can't see with your naked eye. If you see blood in your stool or it's in your toilet bowl, you got a serious problem that you need to go get checked out with your doctor. This FIT test is good if you're not sure, if you're having other symptoms, if you're a little worried about it. I know too much. I work at the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. I see young people getting this disease all the time. My stomach gets a little achy. I'm like, well, crap. So I go, crap. And what you do is you crap in your toilet. And it comes with this little, it's like, I don't know, it's strong toilet paper that you simply tape to the seat. And you poop on it, right? Super fun. And there's this little poker instrument that comes in this box, and you poke your poop 5 times. You put it into a little capsule. The capsule looks like this. Okay. So
it's like a little test tube thing, like something that may take
test tube thing. You shake it up, and then you put 3 drops on a cassette. It's a lot like a pregnancy test that you pee on. And then you wait. Not that I've ever done that, but
me either.
You guys might.
This is our Steve. This is our pregnancy test, I guess. Different kind of.
Exactly. This is our pregnancy test, and you put it on there. 3 little drops. 5 minutes later, you get a line. If you have blood in your stool that you can't see, and from there you want to go talk to your doctor. So I did that.
And so,
today.
where do you find these tests?
Well, this one I got off the internet, a little company, you might have heard of them, Amazon.com.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, I know. Nobody knows.
Small startup.
And how much do they run you?
This one came with 2 tests in it, right?
Ooh.
So if you screw up the first time, you can try it again. It was super easy, I should say. And it cost about $30.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
That's not bad.
$30.
$30
you can get
for
them at
2?
$30 for
tests.
2, and you could get it at CVS. But I got to tell you guys that this is a FIT test. There are other types. There's stool DNA, popularized by the company Cologuard. Maybe you see their little happy box running around on your TV every once in a while, telling people to get screened. That's Cologuard. That's stool DNA. They're looking for weird DNA in your poop. You got to send that one to a lab. In fact, some FITs you have to send to a lab. All right, you poop in a box, hence the box. And they check it out in Denver. Or where are they based? I don't know. Michigan, who knows?
Parts unknown.
But and then there's colonoscopy, which is the gold standard. If I were to find blood in my stool using the FIT test, I would absolutely want to get a colonoscopy to see what's actually going on inside my guts.
Excellent.
So
I might do
Dave,
that. I might get one.
$30 for 2.
I'll do
you
one.
and I each get one. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. See what's up.
Product testing. I love product testing.
You are at increased risk because of your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are at increased risk, and you should be screened 10 years prior to whatever age he was screened, or because you're African American, 45 years old.
Yeah.
You are already covered.
Oh yeah,
for that.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in that mix. I've had my doctor, my old doctor. She looked around in there. That was like
But this was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a
no?
while ago. But I mean, like I just talked to my doctor about this stuff. Like, God, it was so long ago. But yeah, I definitely have to go in and get this looked at, just because I'm completely in that group.
Yeah, don't delay.
No, I know.
Delay.
Let's get you that fit test first. And
Yeah, the
we'll-
fit test. I mean, that's strictly for the show. I need to get that fit test just so we can like report back. But yeah, outside of that, I definitely need to talk to my doctor.
Are you scared to get a colonoscopy?
Am I scared? No. I mean, am I scared to get one? I'm just lazy, to be honest with you. Well, I have new insurance, and now I have to like switch doctors. It's a whole thing, and that's just not lazy, but it's just like, you have to this giant task you have to get deal with, and it's just been a nightmare. So
Dave has barely left his house since the pandemic started. So
yeah, I leave to go running, and I come back home. Or I'll go for a bike ride. Like, I don't really do or go anywhere. I've not been in the subway in almost a year. We're in New York City here, and like I literally came back right before the shutdown. I've not been on a subway or public transportation in forever. But that aside, I need to get off my ass and just go. No pun intended, but go to the doctor and have him look at my ass.
I did a mini colonoscopy because I was having some hemorrhoid problems, and I've met with 3 doctors in the past year and a half. The first one wanted to band my hemorrhoids. The second one was somebody we met through the podcast, and he was like, banding is no good. It causes scar tissue. And then I met with a third one who then was suggested, let's do a mini colonoscopy. So it was just like, I didn't have to do much prep, just an enema that morning. And because I'm about to be 43, I'm under the age group. So she was like, we could do this and get it passed through insurance much easier. And she was like, everything looks good. So I just have a couple angry hemorrhoids.
Oof.
Good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Dave, come on, let's post
I know.
that
I gotta
there.
go. I mean, I have to go. I mean, it's also the thing. Like, I'm thinking, like, to Steven's point earlier, I think I'm fine. I mean, not that means anything, but like, I just know I'm gonna go in there. It's gonna be like, well, I mean, I just get I mean, I'm a hypochondriac. The second like a doctor says like, or like any little small thing, and then I'm just obsessed with it for like, for life. So, but excuses aside, I definitely need to go.
Steven and Marielle can tell you.
Oh.
Let's do like early screening.
Oh, hell's yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm down. The fit thing sounds great. I mean, just for content
I'll
wise.
come hold your hand and laugh at you while you're doing the prep.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick a microphone in his face while he's doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah, from a different room, a remote, have a whole remote crew outside the door. Oh yeah, but yes, that's on my list for this year for sure.
Yeah.
Early detection's where it's at.
Completely.
If you detect this early, it's 90% survivable.
Yeah.
If you detect it late, it's a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. That's my father. So he's been going through that. But also, again, like
How old was he when he got diagnosed?
I don't know. I want to say like 60, let's see, 70, 69 maybe? 70? He's 74. So, yeah, between
It's
60
the average age.
Yeah,
right?
so right around 69-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe even 68. But yeah, and also it's another thing too. Like he never talks about like anything that's going on. It's like literally you have to pry it out of him.
Yeah.
I just want to go into his doctor's like visits with him and be like, can you just give me all the information that I know he's leaving out certain things. But again, that's my father, not me. Clearly we have a whole show about this, so
Yeah.
anything we'll find out, everybody will know about. Oh.
We'll see if your new insurance Dr. Fong takes it and go see her.
Yeah. I'm like,
love her.
I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Excellent. I will do it. That's a promise. I'll do it.
Yes.
Great.
This year, 2021.
It's gonna happen. Yes, I know. It'll happen.
We're
2021.
gonna follow up with you and hold you to it.
Okay.
Yes. All
Dave,
3 of us.
Put it on our calendars, Steven.
Dave, I'm going to send you a screening pledge.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pledge.getscreened.org. You go on there, you pledge that you're going to get screened.
Pledge.screen.org.
Yes. You're an actual speaker. I'm a writer, so
No,
that's the difference between
Hardly. I can barely talk. Oh,
I'll send it to you. Okay?
please. Should we go into some questions for our guests?
Yeah. I mean, I sent you, Stephen, all the questions. Some of them I don't have to. These are just usually our funny questions for guests who poop their pants. But my favorite question to ask every guest is, what brand of toilet paper do you both like? And you put it on the roll, over or under.
I'm not a savage, so mine goes over.
You'd be
And if I come to your house and you have it under, I will more than likely flip it over.
That's what everybody says. That's an over.
Yes.
You over people are like really just barbarians.
Gosh. I'm like, oh. But the best toilet paper, well, right now we have Costco toilet paper because it's all we can find. But Cottonelle with the ribs, with the lines in it and the purple bag, hands down, my favorite toilet paper. And if you're listening, I will gladly take any free samples. We have 6 butts in this house.
Wow.
Yes, there's a lot of pooping.
Wow.
You gotta get you that Cottonelle sponsor for sure.
Every time the Charmin Bear comes on, they're talking about like rolling so much toilet paper. My husband like hits me. He's like, "Are you listening? Are you paying attention?" I was like, "That's Charmin."
You need to get a bidet in there to help clean off all those buttholes.
I grew up having a bidet before I moved here, and those things are fantastic.
The
Yeah,
best.
they have the Snap-on ones now that are so cheap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are all about them. You use much less toilet paper. You just have to pat it dry, and so much
They're
better
fantastic.
to wash over wiping.
I love it.
You'll never go back.
What about you, Stephen?
I gotta agree. I like the Cottonelle. Charmin's okay too. I'm not that picky about it as long as it's not that coarse sandpaper stuff that you like find at a gas station.
Yeah.
Screw that. Not a fan. It's awful. And I am an under person, and I will tell you why. I have 3 cats.
Thank you.
And exactly, they'll go in there, they will unravel the entire roll of toilet paper if you let them. This way it's harder for them to do it.
Yeah.
Huh.
I agree. I'm an under.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of the people that come on this show are overs. Like like by a large margin.
We're a rare but awesome breed.
Thank you. You know? We do our own thing.
This is the women on this podcast.
Yeah, apparently.
Over versus under.
Hot topic.
And do either of you have a great first memory of poop or farts? I know, Marielle, you said that you didn't talk about poop way before you got diagnosed. So
Yeah. And I'm still kind of weird. And I was talking to Steven, I think, about this. Like, I still, like, I'm not into, I literally talk about poop all day, but like, I'm not into like the poop emoji and like the poop shirts and stuff like that. I'm not into all that. I know. And it's so crazy because if I do, like, when we go to our national conference, I'll snatch, like, if we have any like poop emojis or like squishy balls or whatever, I'll bring them back to my son and he loves it. He thinks like the coolest thing ever. And then I'm like, oh, here you go. He's like, great. Like, my mom brings me poop from her trips. Like, but like, when people call to help, when like just regular people call to help and they're like, well, I really don't want to talk to you about my poop. It's kind of, I was like, I hear it all the time. They're like, okay, well, this and this and this happened today. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll talk to you about your poop all day long. I'm like, I'm very, I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, I get it. If you're talking about it all day, the last thing you want to do is like look in the corner and be like, "Oh man, I got that T-shirt I got for free." Like I don't need to see it.
Like my daughter will text me from school. She's like, "Mom, I just took the biggest poop," and it's like, "Is this normal?" Like, look, I'm like, "Stop texting me." Like, what is wrong with you?
Oh, that's great.
You have to tell your kids to pay you for that. You're like, I get paid for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, set up an appointment. We'll talk about it later.
Call the hotline.
Stevens and I relationship has just gone to a totally different level after
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that Marielle.
I
We need,
know.
to, we need to
awesome.
talk about poop some.
No power. Better than the last conversation you were involved with me on a Zoom. We did a sexual function and fertility Facebook Live for our patients. And Steven was my guy. He was my Zoom guy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
About the stuff we talked about on there. I was like, so sorry, Steven.
Yeah, if you think this is sensitive, I learned on that Zoom that semen can actually shoot backwards.
Yeah,
What?
from radiation. Yeah.
Really?
Retro ejaculation. And we talked about, we pulled out like vaginal dilators. We did like show and tell.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's like
Steven
really.
got very well
Yeah,
educated.
yeah.
I want to be on that next
It's like,
Zoom
yeah.
meeting.
It's like health class 2.0. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It shoots backwards? That's just like blowing my mind.
Yes, like it's one of the things that happens with like radiation
Wow.
in men. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also, when you guys do that conference after we're all vaccinated and this pandemic's behind us, please invite us. Hey, Poopy wants to come.
Yeah, we'll
You
come.
guys should do a podcast live from there.
That'd be
Yes.
amazing. We're all about that.
Yes.
We
can
did-
have him.
We did a whole show
That's-
at a place called ButtCon. so
Yes.
we
I
can
love
we definitely versed in the live world. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
that would be,
That would
you
be
guys-
awesome.
Oh, it's so cool. Like
Oh my God, I'd love that.
Where is this conference usually take place?
we do it throughout the country, especially close to a designated NCI cancer center.
Oh.
We're working on doing this year. We will know more towards June-ish, but we'll give you guys a heads up so that you guys can make it.
Oh, please.
Yes.
That'd be great.
We are there.
Yeah.
Get down. I'm gonna pitch
I'm
it
in.
to Andrew.
I'm into it. I'm so into that.
And
With-
Steven, do you have any early memories of poops and farts as a kid?
Yeah. I think my earliest solid memory, solid is sort of it's sort of the theme here. I
It
was
is.
in a McDonald's playland.
Uh-oh.
I recall this in a McDonald's playland in my hometown of and I think I was having so much fun, you know, because you're a little kid, you're in a playland, it's like a whole new world in there. And I needed to go to the bathroom, but I ignored it and I ignored it and I ignored it.
Oh, no.
And eventually I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I ran off to the McDonald's bathroom, sat on the toilet, and I experienced my first bout with constipation.
Oh no.
And as a kid, you know, little kid, you don't know what that is. All you know is you feel like you need to go and you can't. So something must be wrong. I asked the guy in the stall next to me to go find my mom. And now that I'm older, like that would have been the weirdest thing for this
Yeah.
for this old dude to come up to you and say, "Hey, I think your son maybe is in."
He's having some
So
issues.
That's my story.
Oh my
I
God.
can't remember if the constipation was ever relieved. It must have been because I pooped today. Obviously, I did my fit test.
Yeah. It worked itself out. Oh my
I
God.
worked it out over the last 30 years. And,
I was picturing the guy in the stall. He's like, oh, okay, I got to go do this, huh? All right.
I totally thought that was going to go in a different direction where you pooped in the playland.
In the
but,
ball
like,
pit?
your pants. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a major accident in the ball pit. I'd be like, you know what? We're just going to close this thing down forever. Forever. Oh my God. That's great.
Oh, too funny.
My favorite question on there I was like, do you fart during your work meetings? And I'm like, I would love to pose that as a question at our staff meeting.
Yeah.
Like doing a survey
Yeah.
for the podcast that we were on.
It's anonymous. Don't worry.
do like a work happy hour and be like, hey, I've got some questions for those who want to talk
Yeah.
outside of work.
Oh my God.
Oh, with a show of hands.
Have you either of you farted during work?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Well, Marielle cheats because she works remote. She lives in the Carolinas, and so if she farts at work, nobody knows. Me though, I worked in our office in DC before everything got closed, and I will be honest, like, we have a great team. Everyone's super funny. And sometimes you're just standing next to somebody's desk and they say something that's hysterical and you laugh too hard and something happens. And then I was thinking about it, and you try to cover it up. You try to play it off, right? Like, you didn't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
You think they heard it. There was this second of recognition, but because my coworkers are so nice, they would never say anything about that. They would just let it be, you know. We work with poop anyways. It's a body function. But I don't think it was ever one of those like real smelly kind of farts, you know, just like one of those little like trumpet toots, you know. It
wasn't like this where you're like, so if we go to those reports later, that meeting we have, then you'd have to say something like, I think you might want to go see a doctor.
The funny thing is, when Dave and I record this podcast, even before the pandemic, we do it together in the same room. I'm somebody who I will fart and tell the world about it, and I never fart while we're recording. I would totally fart in the mic because I would think that's so funny, but my body just doesn't do it. And then there's so many times, like 15 minutes when we're done recording, I'm like tooting like crazy. And during our Night of 100 Buttholes party, Dave and I made these double flusher cocktail drinks that were like almond milk and chocolate syrup and tequila and Kahlua. And I think it was the Kahlua that got both of us. The minute the party was over, I was like, oh my God, I can't stop farting. And like 30 minutes later, Dave is texting me. He's like, my farts are on fire.
Yeah, it was bad. That drink was deadly.
It's like our buttholes close up when we're recording anything. And then as soon as it's done,
like,
it all loosens
You're
up.
in the zone. And then once everything's done, you're kind of like, you can just relax a little bit and you're like, oh, here it comes.
Oh God.
Oh, it's funny.
But I just recently, you can go on our Instagram, posted a video of a teacher teaching a Zoom class, and she farted, and she tries to like brush it off like she didn't know what was going on. But then all of a sudden, all the kids are like, I think the teacher just farted, and they're all laughing hysterically. Like, farts happen.
Yes, they do.
The thing I played off, the way that I sleep at night knowing that this has happened, and it's only happened like once or twice. Let's be clear about this.
Oh, yes, of course.
It happened at the time that I was laughing loudly, right? So maybe you didn't hear it.
That's I like to think. I do the cough sometimes. Depending on, I guess, so we'll see. Oh my God.
Marielle or Steven, do you want to share any accident stories? Or as we like to start off this question, if you had to poo Bristol 7 coming out of you and there's zero toilet in sight, do you poop in your pants or somewhere on the floor, aka the ground?
Oh God.
You don't have to, but just know we've done 109 episodes of people shitting their pants, so you will not be the first one.
And
it depends on where
it's very circumstantial for sure.
Where I'm at, that the pooping on the ground would come up. Like if I were out running or something, I could like run in some bushes and then poop on the ground there.
Yeah.
Totally.
But if oh God, I'd rather crap my pants if I was like.
Yeah, I mean, look, in today's society with cell phones, unfortunately, you might have to just, take one for the team because there's no way you're going to wind up on some website or it's someone's like meme.
Seriously.
And that's like, oh God, no one wants that.
When I was a kid, my family, we used to go camping all the time. And I was terrified of those creepy outhouses that maybe have giant black spiders in them, that are going to come and eat you from the hole in the ground below. Not like one of those nice, blue porta potties. We're talking scary things here with wood doors.
Oh, yeah.
And the such.
That have been around for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to go out just in the open. I'd find a nice spot in the woods or whatever.
Yeah,
bring
that's
my toilet paper and a very nice, pleasant, all natural experience.
I agree with you. There's nothing like, you see those old outhouses with the squeaky door. You're like, no thanks. I'll just take my chances over here.
Not into it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although I always say this, we one of our guests, our early guests, said that he never would want to shit in his pants ever again, and so he doesn't care where he is. He's like, he always is going to choose the ground. Doesn't matter. I'm like, what about a subway? It's like, I'll just put my shirt over my head and just like, I'm like, okay.
What about a church?
Yeah,
I don't think he cares. He'll find somewhere to go.
Oh God.
He's like, why does the collection plate smell?
I have flushable wipes with me at all times because I am so scared that I'm going to end up somewhere that's going to be like no toilet paper, because I'm notorious, especially when I used to go out clubbing, to go in the bathroom to go pee, and I would always end up in the stall with no toilet paper, and I would have to like stick my hand under and be like, can I get some toilet paper?
Oh. Oh wow.
So yeah, it's like one of my biggest fears.
Yeah,
so
it
be
is.
careful, Marielle, about those flushable wipes because they aren't really flushable. And Google a fatberg when we're done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'll give you nightmares.
Yeah, I'll tune you into our guest Kim from Flush. She goes around the world talking about sewer systems and what fatbergs are, and flushable wipes are terrible for the sewer system.
Really?
So we can also find you a travel bidet, or use just regular like tissue paper or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fatberg, seriously, when you see it, it will give you nightmares.
Yeah.
You'll be like,
literally
what?
the thing of horror movies.
Yeah. I'm surprised there hasn't been one written yet, but it's pretty terrifying.
Oh man. I will for sure. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Well, we're up at the home stretch of this show, and we're gonna get in some news. It's a quick story. It's rather disgusting, but it's news, so we have to talk about it. So I'm gonna play this little like news intro, and then we'll get into the show, or get into the story. Okay, so this story we found it through a guy we interviewed, but I went back and found out the actual source. So this came from Yahoo, Australia, where a group of thieves were trying to like siphon off fuel by sucking the gas out through a tube, and they connected their siphon to the wrong port of the bus, and they were sucking out all the waste and the sewage and shit.
I saw this and I was like, oh.
It was, I mean, like, it's just, whoa, just awful. So this took place in.
My reaction was, oh, go ahead.
No, go. Please, what were you going to say?
What kind of bus was it? You know?
I think it was like a tour bus.
I'm not sure if that matters.
It doesn't matter. I don't think. It was like some kind of RV tour bus thing. And it took place in Laverton, which is Central Australia. And oh my God, it's so disgusting. But yeah, I got a mouthful, as they say, raw shit in the process. I mean, that's just like,
oh my.
Yeah. Police.
I remember seeing that. First of all, if you're going to siphon off gasoline, Google like how to do it from that particular brand of bus. Just don't stick your tube in anything. These
guys were definitely in a rush because the police discovered the failed attempt when they saw the sewage tank cap found on the ground next to the the next morning. We can infer they beat a very hasty retreat with a somewhat bitter taste in their mouth.
Bitter.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it says, unsurprisingly, police have zero interest in recovering the stolen goods.
My God.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just so disgusting.
Stolen at that point? I mean, sewage is kind of waste.
It's like
did them a service.
Yeah. He's like, we had to clean this out anyway, but hey.
Could you imagine getting sick off of this and showing up like in the ER and trying to explain to somebody as to why you have like waste content? Like,
They're like, craziest thing, Doc. I was trying to siphon out some gas, and then
It's rough times out there.
next thing I knew, yeah, I don't know what happened. I slipped and fell. Yeah, it was. That's one of the grossest stories I've heard in a long time. Like, I mean, just reading about it. But yeah, Australia, man, it's wild out there. In central Australia. But I can see that happening here easily. So, I mean, I shouldn't shame Australians. But yeah. Anyway, with that rather just funny and disgusting story, Marielle and Steven, thank you so much for being on our show. I mean, this has been an honor, a privilege, and we just love the fact that you guys were here. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
We would love to have somebody else from Colorectal Alliance on in the future. And if anybody of our audience has any questions for Colorectal Alliance, there's a link on our website, heypoopypodcast.com, or you can email or call us at 203-998-5579 with any questions. And when we have that follow-up interview, we'll have a stockpile of questions from our audience, not from our guests, to our guests.
Yes.
But thank you so much. And please tell us your hotline number one more time.
Yeah, all the information, please.
The hotline number is 877-422-2030, and that is available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time.
Amazing.
And then our website is just simply ccalliance.org.
Perfect.
And we have a link to that on our website too.
Yes.
So everybody get on top of it. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yes. And again, thank you so much. It was so informative. It was great talking to you guys. And I'm glad you're out there doing the work that needs to be done.
Yes.
And
God bless you both.
And talking about poop and butts and all the good stuff.
All right.
Of course.
Cool.
Thank you to you both. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Anytime.
Yes.
And happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment, produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at Hey Poopy Podcast and Twitter at Hey Poopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.